What's up, guys? Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and we are now going to be talking a little bit about Krypton, Season 1, Episode 7, Transformation, this episode was called. So, I thought it was kind of cool that the voice of Rao decided to reveal himself multiple times. It's funny. When you think about it, Brainiac is able to check and all of his basically their mind slaves that he's got. You know what I'm saying? This voice of Brainiac that took over the voice of Rao. Brainiac came down, he looked around, and he checked out their data systems and all that stuff. And listening to this knucklehead, Daryl Vex, whatever his name is, the guy who tried to kill his daughter. Wow. This dude, the voice of Rao was able to look around. What's going on, Red Black Cane? He's able to look around and say, listen, all these people have been religious forever. This guy himself admits that his parents died as martyrs because they wanted to worship the Ice Queen. When this guy, the voice of Rao, came along and said, these guys are all traitors, kill them. So all of Krypton has been all about religion. You know what I'm saying? Following something that, let's face it, they can't prove. So it wasn't really that hard. Krypto the Super Dog, I'm looking forward to it. Guy from Red Bank. Hawkwoman is what I'm really waiting for. That's the only character they said was going to be in this show that hasn't been in this show yet. I even made Hawkwoman Explained in a minute, man. Waiting for it. Anyway, so freaking knuckleheads, man. All these humans, all these Kryptonians more specifically, cellular degeneration is okay, are so caught up in their faith that he realized all he's got to do is reveal himself. So, I'm going to skip to the end because it's important. The beginning and the end, I love how this cycled. There wasn't a whole lot of very compelling action in this episode. There was a cool scene, though. But I like the idea of how the entire episode kind of wrapped around each other. The Reach would be awesome, Mark Guerrero. What I really want to see is the Thanagarians. But I would really rather wait until the next season for that. I would love to see the Ran-Thanagar War start up, and that would just be awesome, and Krypton is somehow caught in the middle of it. So, yeah, he realized all he's got to do is reveal himself as a god. So, when he does now, that was actually the plan that the Kryptonians were planning on doing. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just expose them. We'll shoot them all at the same time, and then boom, we'll expose them, and everybody will be like, oh no! Well, apparently that's what this one high priestess, the same idea that she had, none of it worked. This dude, he just thinks, remember, Brainiac is what's called a 12th level intellect, okay? The smartest person in all of Earth, who's exceedingly smart, even blows away Batman, is Lex Luthor. And he's considered... Is he considered 11th level? I don't think he's even considered 11th level intellect. Whatever he is, he just doesn't compare to Brainiac. You know what I'm saying? So it's a huge gap right there. Brainiac is ridiculously fast, thinking. And then you saw the way that his red shard were acting. He's like, I really like that voice. For a TV, sinister voice, that's a cool voice. So he says, I want my, what's up, Raven? I will have my own personal guard, the Red Shard. Shard? Don't you know what a shard is on Earth, dude? Don't shard. Shards aren't... Well, shart. Don't shart. Anyway, the Red Shard is actually from the comic books. The first time I remember actually seeing them, and it may have dated before that, because they in the Superman comics specifically, they use names over and over and over again. So the first time I remember seeing it was on World of New Krypton. This was actually a fairly, in all things considered, fairly recent Superman story, where Kandor had already been put in the Bottle City. You know what I'm saying? The city in the bottle, and they're just. God, 250,000 Kryptonians stuck inside Kandor City. And they all came out, and they raised all of them together under the new yellow sun of Earth. They raised the city of Krypton into space and had it, orbiting the Earth basically as an extra moon. And there was this big fight and whatnot, and these crazy things happened. And Superman wound up training all of these people, these Kryptonians, to being called the Red Shard. So they were actually not pacifists, but they were peacekeepers to the extreme. So using this name here, it's literally just a way of them recycling this name and saying, hey man, check it out, look, clue from the comic books, but not spoiler, but hey fans, look what we're doing for you. That's really all this is. I'm not upset by it, but it's cool. it's cool. It's just whatever. New gods would be great, Mark Guerrero says. Maybe show the exchange of Orion and Kalibak. The exchange was Orion and Scott Free, Mr. Miracle. Kalibak stayed on Apocalypse. But from New Genesis, that exchange of sons between Highfather and Darkseid was actually Scott Free, Mr. Miracle, over to Apocalypse, and Orion, which is actually Apocalypse's son, over to New Genesis. So yeah, that would actually be extremely cool. Wow. Like now I think about it, yeah, dude, that would, wow. Let's see the source wall while we're at it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go nuts. Absolutely. Either way, so this episode, again, it was really light on action, but heavy on emotion, heavy on story, heavy on build-up. And that's not a bad thing. I guess an episode 7 out of 10 would be perfect, you know what I'm saying, to do that. I was expecting that this was going to happen fairly soon. I didn't realize it was going to happen right away. They're like, yeah, episode 7. Give them everything they need to know about what's going to happen in the future. So we pretty much know everything now. We're actually at one of those juxtapositions right now where we think we know exactly what's going to happen, except we don't actually know what is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything's there. The bad guys see, or excuse me, the good guys see all of the bad guys in front of them. They know who their enemies are. They know who they can and can't trust at this point. So what else is left? Or with Zod being the wild card. But at this point, what are they going to do? So yeah, I'm cool with this episode. No complaints whatsoever. But as far as like highlights from the episode, there were, aside from the voice of Rao, controlled by Brainiac now, walking into the fire and causing a little fire shell around him, and turning into that, it looks like a spiritual, ethereal being. That was very cool. That's going to be hard to top. It's like they were just like, yeah, make it rain on that stunt that we're going to do, all right? That CG, just there we go, man. That's what they were pretty much doing. Dollars to donuts. So enjoyable episode. Looking forward to see what they're going to do from this point on. That being said, I'm going to cut this one short. It is what it is. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.